Welcome back to my channel. Now, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Tor and I'm here to help better your business, better your career and better your life. In this video, I'm going to be discussing how wealth is a mindset based on three specific books: Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. Now, each of these three books are self-help books that teach you about accumulation of wealth, success, and how you can go about doing that by reframing your own belief system and your own mindset. Now, some of the teachings in these books individually are fantastic, so I've left links in the description for each one of those, but combined, it gives you a bit more of a full scope and a bit more of a broader based opinion for how a wealth mindset can be cultivated and why wealth is a mindset. Starting with Napoleon Hill. In Think and Grow Rich, he says, remember that your real wealth can be measured not by what you have, but by what you are. Remember that your real wealth can be measured not by what you have, but by what you are. This is an interpretation of wealth being who you are and what you are, as opposed to what you have. So material possessions can never account for your wealth. Instead, what you are, what you bring to the table, the value that you deliver to the world, the mindset that you've cultivated towards the world, the success habits and cosmic habit force that you put out every single day, those are the things that determine your level of wealth. Those are the wealth that you carry with you. That is why sometimes you'll see somebody win the lottery, become a millionaire overnight, and they'll lose all of that money in the next year because they had a poverty mindset. They didn't have a wealth mindset before they accumulated the physical finances. On the flip side, you hear of people go broke and become rich again over and over and over again. Entrepreneurs, successful people, they sometimes will lose all of their money at one point during their career, and they'll make it back again later because they still have that same mindset of cultivating wealth. They still had that same approach towards everything, and the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So anytime you go during a period where you maybe lose money, it's always going to flow back to you. This leads nicely into Earl Nightingale's sentiment on thoughts. Every one of us is the sum total of his own thoughts. He is where he is because that's exactly where he really wants to be, whether he will admit to that or not. This is a fantastic statement in my opinion, because everybody will tell you about the goals that they want to achieve, the things that they want to go and do in life. However, they don't realize that the reason they're in the position that they are in right now today is because of the limiting thoughts and limiting beliefs that they have instilled in their own mind. On the flip side, if someone has gone and achieved all of their goals, they're only there because of the positive beliefs and positive thoughts that they had instilled in their own mind. They'd cultivated a mindset of success. They had cultivated a mindset of wealth. They'd cultivated a mindset of happiness. They'd done all the things that they need to be doing in order to continue to generate a high level of wealth. All of us are the sum total of our thoughts. We become what we think about. Therefore, we need to make sure to develop a mindset that is cohesive with wealth, or else we will end up being one of those people that maybe never achieves the level of wealth we aspire to, or if we do become wealthy, we'll end up reverting back to our old ways and old habits because we still have thoughts in our mind that were not conducive to a wealth mindset. Robert Kiyosaki takes a more material approach. He says that rich people acquire assets. The poor and middle class acquire liabilities that they think are assets. The crucial point here is that poor and middle class people don't acquire liabilities for liabilities' sake. They acquire liabilities in the belief that these liabilities are actually assets, things that can add value to them over time. The thing is, that's a short-term way of thinking, because a lot of poor people or a lot of middle class people maybe purchase things that make them feel good in a particular moment, make them feel a certain emotion. However, they don't add any long-term value, which is what an asset is. An asset is something that's going to drive more value over time and deliver more money in your pocket, therefore cultivating more wealth for you. And this comes down to both mindset and knowledge. So what your knowledge is of how assets work versus liabilities allows you to go out and purchase more assets, purchase more things that are going to add more value to you. Whereas if you have a mindset that makes you believe that your liabilities are assets, you may continue to purchase these. That's why in order to cultivate a wealth mindset, you want to make a list of some of the most valuable items you own. Let's say 10, for example. You want to then group these into liabilities or assets and assess how many of these items fall into the assets column versus how many fall into the liabilities column. This will give you a good scope for what you value, assets or liabilities. Once you've figured out which is more valuable to you, you can create a short plan for acquiring even more assets moving forward. If you find that you have hardly any assets in your top 10 most valuable items, then start figuring out how can you start to cultivate some of these assets in your life. If you have a lot of assets, how can you use those assets to go out and acquire more assets and continue that flow of wealth and that mindset towards wealth? Share your plan in the comments below. I'd love to see some of the feedback and some of the different ideas that people have towards creating more assets in their life. If you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more on how to better your business, better your career, and better your life. Make sure you leave a thumbs up, and I'll make sure I catch you next time.